Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Well, it's that time of year again. So we're going to make my go-to pound cake when my kids were little. This is a very easy pound cake and it only has basically 4 simple ingredients. And I used to call this my 4-pound cake because it made it easy to remember. You need a 4-serving box of pudding, which is a small box, a cake mix, 4 eggs, 1/4 cup of oil, and a cup of water. That's it. Now, there's lots of ways you can top this and everything, and we'll talk about some of those. But I would make these, and I would take them anytime I needed at any get-together, and people would request them. And I would always at least make a lemon and a chocolate because everybody wanted them. You can make them fairly cheap, fairly quick. Like I said, super easy. About the only thing you can do to mess these up is to under bake them. I even forgot one in the oven once and cooked it like 20 minutes too long, and people still ate it. It wasn't quite as moist as it normally is, but it was still edible and people still enjoyed it. So I don't recommend baking it 20 minutes too long, but don't under bake it, because if you under bake it, then it's soggy and it falls, and that's just it. All right. These are good for your family dinners, they're good for church dinners, they're good for office parties, or if you just want to get together with the girls and maybe have some coffee and dessert and do a Bible study or something, which is a really good way to kind of relax and focus during this very busy time of the year. So start by putting your 4 eggs in a bowl. Add your oil and your water. And then you're going to mix that up just a little bit. That's about enough. And then you're going to dump in your cake mix and your pudding. You do want to grease and flour your Bundt pan. And they make a spray now that has the flour in it. It's a cake pan spray. I have not tried that. I'm one of these old women that I guess is kind of hanging to the old ways. I was shopping with Alex the other day, and she said, I need a Bundt pan. I don't have one. And I said, well, I'll get one and I'll use it. I'm going to be doing a couple of recipes for y'all. And I said, I'll use it, then you can have it. I'm going back to get me some new Bundt pans. These things are 2 or 3 times as thick as my old one. It's heavy, so it will bake better. We've talked about heavy pans before and how well they bake. Now, once you add that pudding and that cake mix in there, kind of stir it a little bit if you're using a hand mixer before you turn the mixer on, like that. And that will keep it from blowing that dry cake mix all over your kitchen and making a mess. Because nobody wants to take time to clean cake mix off of the light fixture at Christmas or at Thanksgiving. You don't have that time. And then turn it on and mix it for just till it's creamy. All right, that's it. Like I was saying, I'm one of these old women that tends to do things the way I've done them for forever. If you happen to have tried the cake pan spray that has the flour in it, let me know how you liked it. Somebody several years ago said, why don't you use parchment paper when you make your cookies? Well, I couldn't afford parchment paper when my kids were growing up, and that was the main reason why I didn't. But I want to try the cake pan spray, and if you've tried it and you like it, let me know, or if you've tried it and it's awful, let me know. But grease and flour your Bundt pan. If you're using your 40-year-old Bundt pan like I am, go buy you a new one. These are nice. Or tell somebody you want a new one for Christmas. When you're adding your cake batter here to your pan, kind of go around it and pour it in there semi-even so it don't all pile up on one side. And I don't know if that's necessary or not, but that's one of those things I've done for forever. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And you're going to want to cook this for anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes. It kind of depends on your oven. Now, this one obviously is a lemon one. And you can do some substitutions in this. You can, if you want to make it more lemony and a little more homemade, you can substitute about half of your water or maybe a quarter of your water with lemon juice, and you can add a little lemon zest in it, and you can make a homemade glaze with some powdered sugar and lemon juice and lemon zest and a little bit of butter to thicken it up, you know, not too much. It makes a real simple lemon glaze. Or when you take it out of the oven, you can melt about half a can of lemon cake frosting, just the canned stuff, and put over it just half a can to glaze it, and that makes a good glaze too. But if you want to add some lemon juice and lemon zest, certainly do. But once you get this in your pan, put it in the oven, preheated oven, 350 degrees, 35 to 45 minutes until a cake tester comes out clean and you know you've got a good bounce to it. After it comes out of the oven, sit it on a rack and let it cool for at least 10 or 15 minutes before you try to take it out of the pan. And this is my old cake pan. It is super thin. It's just a single stamped out layer. And like I said, that new one is a double walled thing, and I'm definitely going to be getting me a new one. Once it's cooled 10-15 minutes, it should come out of the pan. Tapping it a little bit helps release it. There we go. Now, you can see with the floured cake pan, it's got that floured stuff on it. Well, the glaze is going to cover that up, and that is one reason why I normally glaze it. Now, with the chocolate one, sometimes I put some little mini chocolate chips in it to add a little something to it. Bundt cakes are very easy to take somewhere and serve, and the plate you put them on will help decorate them. So if you're going to have it at your house, maybe get out a pretty plate, and if you don't have a lot of pretty plates, especially seasonal stuff, go to a thrift store, Goodwill or Carm or whatever the thrift store in your area is, and buy a few odd plates for stuff like this. And also, you can buy a few odd plates at the secondhand stores or flea markets or whatever to take stuff places at Christmas time and Thanksgiving. And if you don't get your plate back, oh well, you haven't lost your grandma's favorite, you know, the plate you got from your grandma or something. It's just something that you picked up. And that's a good cheap way to get dishes that you don't necessarily have to get back. Also, a bundt cake or a pound cake, you can carry them on a disposable plate, a disposable plastic or paper plate. But like I said, the plate adds to the decoration of the cake. Now, at Christmas time, you could put some Christmas candy or sprinkles or something on this too. Thanksgiving and Halloween, you could decorate it with some of the little marshmallow pumpkins or candy corns or something like that. Or the chocolate, you could decorate with chocolate candies, which would be pretty and good and people would love it. Anyway, let's get on with glazing this just a little bit. Now, when this one's still pretty warm, and I could probably not even melt the frosting, I could just put it on there and it would like melt and run down it. But in the interest of time, I'm going to melt it and pour it over. Just about half a can, and you can save the other half and make the kids some cupcakes and lightly frost them instead of doing them like those things in the grocery store where they've got that much frosting on them and the kids have a sugar attack after they've eaten it. Anyway, just put this in your microwave a few seconds and melt it. Alright, that's good. It just took about 30 seconds with that melt button, which isn't full power. You don't want it like completely cooked, you just want it pourable. And then just pour that right over the ridge of your cake there. And let it run down. Super simple to mix up, very hard to mess up. Simple, easy to find ingredients. One of the reasons why I used to make these all the time when my kids were growing up was because they are also pretty cheap to make. I used to be able to make them for $2. I shopped for the ingredients for this and got most of them on sale. And you can still make this cake for under $4 with all the ingredients, even with a half a can of frosting to glaze it with. Or like I said, you can make a glaze, and for the chocolate, you can make a glaze with powdered sugar and cocoa and pour that over it. And we might do some homemade glazes, before this holiday season is over. Just do maybe some shorts and put those recipes in it, because those are really simple and don't need a long video. If you haven't, I want to ask you to please click the subscribe button and the notification bell, because all through this holiday season, we are going to be focusing on verses of peace and thanksgiving. Because I know how tough it is when you're raising kids and you're trying to get all the decorations put up, and you're trying to get everybody where they need to be, and you're trying to make sure everybody knows their lines for the play, and helping make costumes, and shopping and wrapping presents, and trying to get everybody to all the get-togethers. And it just can get so chaotic that you're not even present in the moment. You're not experiencing the season and the time with your family and your kids. So if you haven't seen our community page on our YouTube channel, or you haven't been to our Facebook, we share recipes every day, and we put a Bible verse with those recipes. So from now all the way through Christmas, we're going to be focusing on Bible verses of peace and thankfulness, because that's what this time is. It's a time for the next month, focus on being thankful. And then through December, focus on that peace that God leaves us. Like in Colossians 3:15, and let the peace of God rule your hearts, to which also you are called one body, and be ye thankful. So for the next 2 months, we want to help you keep that peace in your heart, and we want to help you focus on the thankfulness for the things that you have. I mean, having gone through that and now being on the other side and knowing what it's like to be a young mother chasing her kids around, I can tell you, you need to take time to slow down and focus on that peace and focus on that thankfulness. Because these moments in life are very temporary. Don't miss them all while you're trying to make it the perfect Christmas or the perfect Thanksgiving. So click the notification bell and let us help you stay focused on, keep the peace of God in your heart, and stay focused on the thankfulness of the season, the thankfulness, the joy. Because that's what it's about. It's not about all the things we buy or all the decorations that we put up or even all the cakes that we bake. But maybe this year, during this season, take some time to get together with your friends and do a Bible study. Make one of these cakes and sit down and have some coffee and talk about the Lord, and maybe give each other some tips on how to get through this without losing your mind and without missing it. And that's what we're going to try to do here, and I want you to be a part of it. So please share videos with your friends. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you know when we post. Go to our Facebook page and like it and follow us on there, and you can get the verses and you can get the recipes, and it'll, you can still get it all there too. Either way, we want to help you get through this, maintain your sanity, maintain your peace, and be a part of it and enjoy it with your family, not just survive it, because that's not what this time is about. Thank you so much for joining us in the Hillbilly Kitchen. If you haven't already, please don't forget to click like and subscribe. And until next time, remember to put God first.